Virginia This Morning has a new segment that we're debuting today, our first ever edition of My Richmond. I'm Bill Bevins. Thanks for joining us. This is something a little bit different than what we normally do on our show. We will spend some time here on the show, and then we'll take a pause and we will continue on with a more long-form, in-depth interview that we can do and will be available on our website, virginiathismorning.com. And for our first ever My Richmond, I brought a friend of mine that's really been a part of Richmond culture. You're a really cultured guy.
Yeah. I'm a cultured guy.
Richmond culture for a long time. His name is Jay Carneal. And if you lived in this part of the world from anywhere from the early 90s up until yesterday, you probably know.
Or maybe the last few years because I've moved down to the Bay.
Yeah. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, buddy.
This is so much fun for me because when I thought about the concept for this, and thanks to Amy Lacey and all the folks at Virginia This Morning allowed me to do it, is well, my Richmond, the stuff I grew up with, the stuff I know, is very different from other generations, other people. But you've been a big part of my Richmond for a long time.
You've been a big part of mine.
Yeah, well.
Okay. I can't believe I'm number one on your list here.
So the very first one.
That's great.
And let's get a shot here of this young guy behind us here.
Still have the hair, it just changed color.
I don't. Where was this? This a school picture?
Yeah, this was in North Carolina, a little small town called Eden, North Carolina, just below the Danville line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I actually started in radio. And I looked about that young when I started in radio.
Good. So what?
But that's
grade?
younger. Yeah, I'm guessing that's
somewhere
sixth
in there.
grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to come back to that kid a little bit later on in
I'm
the
still
show.
that kid, by the way.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I got that part. Me too. Let's talk a little bit about your early career, and then we're going to get to the part everybody knows about. First of all, we went to the same high school. I'm quite a bit older than Jay.
Not really.
So you graduated in
78.
78.
But I skipped a year.
Okay.
So I went from 10th grade to 12th grade.
Okay.
Graduated when I was 16.
Wow.
So that's almost the way
Almost.
when I graduated.
So went to Meadowbrook and then went back down to Carolina. Is that right?
Yeah, because I could get into radio.
Okay.
So at 14, I'm listening to Q94, Babalu, and all these guys, and I'm like, man, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, you can't start in Richmond. I mean, that's just too big a market,
Yeah.
right? So I went back to North Carolina where I had my roots. And I went to a little radio station called WLOE, the Wonderful Land of Eden, where that photo was taken.
LOE, Land of Eden.
Well, you could work for free, So I went back, and that's exactly what I did. I would run and get the DJ's hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything for me to be in a studio.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Now, at 15, did you have that baritone voice at that point?
At 16, it was getting better. At 15, it was squeaky.
Yeah. So that's why you were getting hot dogs, not on the air.
I was getting hot dogs.
Okay, so how long did you stay at LOE?
I guess I was there kind of in that area, a couple of different stations for maybe 2 or 3 years. And by the time,
QOK? What was that?
Well, QOK was in Raleigh. That's later.
Okay.
I came back to Richmond because I got a job at the brand new Magic 99, which was in Petersburg. Mm-hmm. And so this was the first FM urban station in Richmond. And a guy named Mitch Malone was the first DJ there.
Legendary
Mitch Malone. And then they got a guy named Jay Lang who came in and did afternoons. Mm-hmm. And I had to go by the name Kip, K-I-P. And the reason I went by Kip is there was another Jay Lang.
Oh, okay.
He was already there. So they didn't want Jay Lang and then Jay Carneal.
Yeah.
So
you were Kip Carneal?
I was Kip Carneal. And people would tell me, yeah, I know Kip. And I'm like, you do?
Good.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, it was such a great experience because I'm playing the music I loved. Mm-hmm. That's what I grew up listening to. I'm listening to Cameo and Parliament Funkadelic. And, I mean, I'm 17, 18, 19 years old, and I'm in that musical moment of life where everything, you're just absorbing it.
Yeah. Took it all in and did pretty well. PLZ going from there.
What a great radio station.
Oh, yeah. Now, was that en route what is it, 36?
No.
That was
so
in,
we were in the bank building in Petersburg at first, and then we moved
high
over to
atop
Crater-
the bank building.
High atop the bank building.
yeah.
Then we moved over to Crater Road
Yeah, okay.
in Petersburg.
All right, let's change up young Jay here and
Oh, now see, there's WLOE. That's me as a young adult.
well, not really adult. It's like, you have your,
But really young.
you have your standard stuff here. You have your Mountain Dew in the background.
Yes.
This is for those folks who know radio. That's a Gates board, I'm guessing, with the
It is.
yeah, with the pots on it instead
Right,
of
the round
knobs, the
pots.
big knobs. They
That's
call them
right,
pots.
That's right. Got a little script right here, which I've
Yeah?
never read.
Yeah.
Who would read
Look
a
at
script?
that kid.
I was just a DJ, man.
Wow. And do you remember even what shift this might have been?
That was afternoons.
You were doing
I was the afternoon
afternoons
drive guy.
at that age?
I was like a kid with a bicycle. The training wheels came right off, and off I went, full speed ahead, Bev. I was rolling.
All right, let's go to this now.
Oh, come on.
Look at this picture here.
Now, there's a great one. That is a group called the Shy Lights. Oh, girl.
Yep.
I'd be in trouble if you left me now. So this is Jay Lang and me and the Shy Lights, and this is backstage at what used to be the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Altria Theater, as they call it now.
That's right.
Or actually, the Acoustically Perfect Mosque.
Is that what it is?
That's what it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for
Yeah.
that. But how did I look?
You look sharp.
I did look sharp.
Yeah.
I don't dress that way anymore, Bill.
Nobody do. All right, so you're meeting these are big stars.
Oh, these are huge. I mean, these
These
are the
guys have
guys.
hit records.
Look, these are the guys 2 or 3 years ago I would never have dreamed of meeting at that point in my life.
Yeah. And there you are backstage hanging with them.
Hanging with
In the dressing room.
living the dream.
Yeah. Some stories we probably couldn't tell.
You and I did a show together back in the same time frame. You were at Much More.
Yes. I was a disc jockey. That was a nightclub in
And
town.
he was known as Uncle Bull.
Yeah.
And I was hosting the War concert.
Nice. That was a great show.
How far back do we go?
Yeah,
I mean,
long
as we said in the beginning. You know.
So Google War, great band.
Slipping into Darkness.
Yeah.
Cisco Kid was a friend of mine.
He was.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we? All right, let's go on to another picture here, Jay, and we're going to go backstage again.
Gotta love that one.
Yeah. Tell us who's in this picture.
So
This
you
is
talked
staff.
about OK or QOK. WQOK in Raleigh was a flamethrower of a radio station. 100,000 watts, covered all of Raleigh, Southern Virginia, Greensboro, North Carolina. I did afternoon drive, and I was the music director at that station. And this beside me is Vanessa Williams, former Miss America. My buddy Vinnie Brown, he and I still talk today. There's the great thing about radio. The people you meet in radio that you connect with, you're like Velcro. You just stick together because you share that same love. And that doesn't know color. It doesn't know anything other than I love you, whether it's music or people.
And we love the same music and the same
thing. And that's really what it's all about. And this is Evelyn Champagne King that did Shame.
Yeah, disco hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was Shawnee's Wilson. She did a song called I Love Your Smile.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the personality of a disc jockey. People would ask me all the time because I think of myself as an introvert. And everybody goes, what?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I sit in a room and talk to myself all day.
Right.
And there's nobody else in there but me.
My wife asked me why I was talking to myself last night.
Still do. So did you kind of think of yourself that way?
I did. You know, it's an amazing thing. If you get into a room with 2 or 3 people, you're fine. But if you get into a room with maybe 100 people, it's different. If you get into a room with 5,000 people, well, that's a totally different thing too. I'm more comfortable in front of 5,000 than I am in front of 11.
People ask me if I go out on stage and introduce somebody, Vanessa Williams, somebody. If I go out on stage and there's thousands of people there, it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
You give me 5 or 10 and I have to actually deal with them because I have the microphone when there's 5,000 people. They can't say anything.
Well, they can see your face too, and
Yeah.
you can see theirs, so
Yeah.
you can read their reaction immediately, and that's intimidating.
Yeah.
That reaction.
Yeah. Well, that's why we get off and bring the band on. It's like, shut up! We want to hear the band. So
Stand right by
that
the
happens.
emergency exit.
Let's jump ahead a little bit because eventually you become a good guy.
Yeah. Come on
Now, those
now.
of folks who don't know this guy, that
Yeah.
is Rick James.
That is the Rick
super
James.
freak himself.
He sure was.
So when you dealt with him, was he professional?
No, he was very kind to me that occasion. First off, let me say I've met many entertainers on many occasions. So you hope that when you meet them, every time you meet them, they'll be the same way.
Yeah.
I only met Rick once.
Yep.
And of course, his stories are legendary. But Rick had done a concert in Richmond that didn't go off. It was a sold-out concert at the Coliseum with the Mary Jane Girls Stone City Band, and he didn't make the gig.
Ooh.
And it sold out. So he comes back, I want to tell you it's a month later.
Yeah. To do the show.
To do a makeup
Yeah.
show. And that 10,000 plus concert arena, most of the people had gotten their ticket money back. And I want to tell you, there were 1,500 people at that show.
Wow.
But Rick had come down to try to do, a little bit of cleanup on aisle 3. You
Yeah.
know? So he's doing interviews where Rick normally didn't do an interview unless you went to him, that type thing. So Rick was very, very gracious and good to be around that day.
Because he had a reputation of being a little bit on the wild side.
Rick had a reputation, kind of like Bill Bevins.
Yeah, not at all like me. All right, so Jay in the Middle is happening. Are we to that
Jay
point?
in the
now?
midday.
Yeah.
Would that be a way you were going to put
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You're kind of in the middle.
Kind of in the middle. Oh,
There's a great shot.
now look, if there's anybody I love personally, like one of my 2 or 3 top favorite people in the world, it's Eddie Levert, the guy on the right with the OJs. This is the OJs. The mighty, mighty OJs. I think that would be the way you have to say it.
And there's Jay Lang on
And
the
there's Jay Lang again, and this might have been the same night that we did the Shy Lights photo.
Yeah.
Although I've met the OJs on many occasions. I had dinner with the OJs one night.
I did a show with you with the OJs with Gladys Knight.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Jose Productions.
Yes.
I love Jose too. But I'm having dinner with the OJs one night, and this is in North Carolina, and we're at a hotel, and right beside us, right beside the lobby, there's a little nightclub. And after dinner, we'd had a couple of drinks. We pop into the nightclub, and as soon as we do, the DJ throws an OJ song on. Now,
Did he know? Did he recognize them?
well, I think everybody knew that
They were in town.
They were in the hotel,
And these guys
we were
weren't.
having dinner.
You can tell they're not insurance salesmen.
Yeah, but here's the craft of being a great DJ. That DJ was ready. That DJ had a song prepared just in case the OJs, who happened to be having dinner next door, would just pop their head into his nightclub. And they did. And he was ready. And when he hit that first note of the song, the crowd went nuts because they knew the OJs were there too. Now, the reason I tell that story is that DJ crafted the perfect experience. To me, that's the essence of being a DJ, whether you're an announcer on the air or you're a club DJ, is are you prepared? And are you ready to entertain your audience that day or that night? That's what that's all about. And he gave the crowd that moment when the OJs
And how did
stuck
they
their head
react?
in.
How did the guys react?
The OJs, oh, they loved it.
Yeah. This is My Richmond. It's our very first interview with somebody, and we want to thank Jay Carneal. You can go to virginiathismorning.com and check it out.